and welcome to Geno's Picks Super Bowl 51 Season 9 Extravaganza. Joe didn't think I could get it twice in a row. I'm already winning. All right, I know, 1-1 last week, 52-52 on the year. So you have no idea what's about to happen, but you've been coming here 8 seasons before, and you know we end it with a bang. So let's get right to it. Speaking of 52-52, we've been a coin toss all year, so let's start right there. The Super Bowl coin toss. People, you don't want to miss this because former President George H.W. Herbert Walker Bush, the one we like, the first one, and First Lady Barbara Bush will be at the game Sunday to officiate the opening coin flip of the game. That really, between Tom Brady and Matt Ryan, should be the first of many exciting tosses. See what we did? Very clever. Now the dick joke. It's actually, but here's the funny thing about the coin flip he'll be overseeing. It's actually tails that have come up the last 3 times. But if you look at this Super Bowl coin, look at that. We did our homework. We got the picture already. Heads actually doesn't have any heads on it. It's got the Super Bowl trophy and the 51 logo. But tails actually has 2 heads. The heads of the bird and the heads of the Patriots. So really, even if it comes up tails, it's kind of coming up heads. Why are you worried about that? Because the real fact is you're focusing on the coin when you should be focusing on the fact that a 92-year-old man and his 91-year-old spouse will be out there after walking nearly 50 yards to midfield, meaning even if it isn't the coin, there's a pretty good chance that by the end of it all, something is going to be lying at midfield, tits up. And if you're wondering what the odds of them surviving that walk off the field, just flip the coin again. Take heads. Which brings us to the national anthem. We're about 50-50 on this. It's all a coin toss theme. The over-under for the national anthem is 127.5 seconds, which in English is 2 minutes and 7.5 seconds. Although after this yokel, country singer Luke Bryan, that's his FarmersOnly.com picture, once he gets crooning, I have a feeling it's going to seem a lot longer than that. Look, I get it. You have the opening singer coincide with the local flavor. Last year was Lady Gaga and all her sexual power, repping all those people in San Francisco. They weren't born wrong, Joe. Relax. I don't get this guy. And a few years back, when MetLife Stadium hosted Super Bowl 48 in Jersey, they had New York opera singer Renee Fleming come out and sing. We blew that one. Hell, even back in 2012, when they played in friggin' the Heartland at Indy's Lucas Oil Stadium, they had Kelly Clarkson, because given the way that broad's weight fluctuates, even if the fat version showed up, she'd blend in with the women there. At any rate, I have no idea who this Brian guy is either, which is why I looked up his music, and here are some of his hit songs: Huntin', Fishin', and Lovin' Every Day, and Drink a Beer, which is about as original as having 2 first names, and makes me think this guy is a little short on imagination, and he's going to plow through this thing like the farm boy he is. Take the under. Which brings us to a prop bet we do every year, and I love this one. Julio Jones, total receiving yards, over-under is 95.5. This may be the easiest money on the board. Yeah, I said it. Lock it up, Captain Jinx. I don't know if you're familiar with this guy, Bill Belichick, but this is what he does. He takes away and beats you without your biggest weapon. You don't have it. He did it in the win over the Steelers when Le'Veon Bell left, making Antonio Brown the man to stop, and he did it against the Texans when he basically took away their biggest scoring weapon, their defense, by leaving Brock Osweiler on the field as much as possible. Take a listen to this fact. The Patriots scored 36 points against the Steelers by holding the ball 32 minutes, but they scored 34 points against the Texans by holding it only 28, and don't kid yourself, Julio Jones is easily the best weapons on the Falcons, which is why Belichick will be certain to limit number 11 on Sunday, which is why for all the recognition Brady and his offense gets, the Patriots defense is a big part of why the offense puts up such big numbers. Yep, the 85 Bears may have had Buddy Ryan's 4-6 defense, and John Gruden may have done it in Super Bowl 37 with the Tampa 2, but this season it will be Belichick's stop and frisk defense that immediately singles out the black guy and the obvious weapon. Take the under on Julio Jones. Which brings me to the big game. The Patriots are giving 3 to the Falcons at NRG Stadium. Speaking of the letters N, R, and G, those are 3 letters you would never use in a one-word description of the Patriots receiving trio of Julian Edelman, Danny Amendola, and Chris Hogan, who just when you think they couldn't be any whiter, you come to find out Hogan played lacrosse in college. Yeah, he went to Penn State. It's hard to believe the Penn State lacrosse team isn't where Sandusky was getting the bulk of his victims. Look, this isn't about race as much as it's about game planning, and no one does it better than Bill Belichick, which is why with him it's never about having some one athletic specimen like Julio Jones or Dez Bryant or Calvin Johnson beat you, as much as having his entire offense working perfectly in sync and confusing you until one player is wide open. And that is what he will do with an Atlanta Falcons defense whose best weapon is Matt Ryan staying on the field and keeping their terrible defense off it. Yeah, it was better this take anyway. Well, I'm sorry, kids. That won't be happening this Sunday, as the Patriots team that was 5th overall in time of possession will be on the field against an Atlanta defense that was 5th from the bottom in allowing points overall. Not to mention, offensive leader Tom Brady is fueled by an anger to get back at Roger Goodell for that suspension, which is why Brady and his perfect race of receivers will make them look less like Atlanta's 2016 defense, there you go, and more like Austria's 1938 defense as they march right over them, feeding off Brady's anger and celebrating with the aforementioned Führer. They are efficient. Take the Pats, lay the 3. Will not even be that close. Which brings me to the over-under, 58 and a half, maybe 58, whatever. Yeah, it's the largest point total ever laid out by Vegas, and they cannot wait to get you to bit. It says bit, but I meant bite. Keep going. I got shit to do. But let's look at one practical. I can't get back under my Let's look at, keep going. He said to me. Let's look at some practical numbers of the 50th previous Super Bowls. What do you think we care? Do you know how many of the 50 previous Super Bowls had 59 or more points scored? 8! And thank your 5th grade math teacher if you immediately knew to double that for the 16% it translates into of the total Super Bowls where it went over that number. Not to mention, it has only happened 3 times in the past 21 years. That's once every 7, 15.5%. I was good with numbers. Oh, and here's another number that 58 is close to. 56.5. You know what that is? That's the number you get when you combine the 29.5 rushing plays per game in the postseason the Falcons are averaging with the 27 the Patriots are averaging, and that translates into huge numbers, dropping off the clock in between each play. Not to mention the Falcons are finally facing a legit defense in the postseason in the Patriots that has allowed the fewest points in the league, something the Falcons haven't done in the past two, because they faced the Packers defense in their last game that has been so mangled. They had a guy that was not even on the roster starting in the secondary, and a Seahawks defense which was missing 2 of its best players. You know why? Because the Falcons are just like Hillary Clinton. All of those bogus points they put up last fall amounted to nothing in 2017. She's a twat. Take the under. Those are Geno's picks. See you in the fall, kids.